There's a plant in your home that looks bold, tall leaves, strong lines, no frills. It asks for little, stands like a statue in the corner, maybe by the entryway, maybe near the bed. You picked it for its strength, or maybe someone gifted it to you. Either way, it stayed, quiet, unmoving. But since then, something feels off. This isn't about superstition or blaming a plant for what life brings. It's about recognizing when something in your space, even something beautiful, might be standing in the wrong place, like a chair blocking a hallway you don't notice until you bump into it. The snake plant is known for its air-purifying benefits and resilience, low maintenance, hardy, and sleek. But in Feng Shui, its pointed, upright leaves carry a type of energy that can clash with certain spaces. When placed near the front door, it may act like a bouncer turning away not just the bad, but the good, too. In a bedroom, it can disturb rest. By a desk, it may sharpen thoughts to the point of mental clutter. You don't need to believe in energy flow to recognize the subtle ways your home affects how you feel. Some homes soothe us, others feel restless, even when nothing's out of place. Maybe you've noticed tension you can't explain. Maybe certain corners feel cold or heavier. Maybe you keep glancing at that one plant without knowing why. This video isn't about fear. It's about awareness. If you've felt a strange heaviness in your home, and you've ruled out the usual suspects, stress, clutter, bad lighting, then maybe it's time to look closer. Not to throw things out, but to shift them. To ask, is this where this plant truly belongs? Let's take a deeper look at the snake plant, not just as decor, but as part of the emotional rhythm of your home. Part 1. When a plant's shape carries a blocking energy, we don't usually think of plants as things that get in the way. They're quiet, green, alive. Most of us bring them home hoping they'll freshen up a corner, soften a shelf, or maybe just bring a little joy. But not all beauty is benign. Some forms, though elegant, cut through more than just space. They split flow, stir discomfort, and stand like little walls where movement is supposed to pass freely. The snake plant is one of those. Its sword-like leaves, upright and unwavering, are striking, almost sculptural. In a minimalist home, it feels like the perfect match: sharp lines, low maintenance, no fuss. But shape matters more than we admit, and the shape of the snake plant doesn't blend, it interrupts. Especially in places that are meant to feel open, quiet, or soft, like a front entry, a bedroom, or a family gathering space. It's not about superstition, it's about sensation, about the subtle shifts in how a space feels once something stiff and unmoving takes root there. It's about noticing how certain corners suddenly feel colder, how the room feels fine but not quite comforting, how sleep grows lighter, thoughts more restless, or how a conversation trails off more quickly than it used to when that plant started sitting between you. The plant doesn't cause misfortune, but its energy, by design, is defensive, upright, unyielding. When placed without care, it becomes like a silent guard blocking the very openness you're trying to cultivate. And the irony? We often put it there to protect, to cleanse, to neutralize. But a sword, even a symbolic one, is still a blade. It doesn't soften space. It holds its ground. It says, stop. There's a reason why the snake plant thrives on neglect. It doesn't need much from you. But maybe that's the message we overlook. It doesn't invite interaction. It just stands, quietly drawing boundaries, quietly holding tension. And when you place it where energy is supposed to move, by a doorway, near a resting place, or beside a seat, you can feel that tension without even realizing it. You may find yourself breathing a little shallower in that room, moving a little quicker, speaking a little less. It's not dramatic, it's not a crisis, but it's real. The truth is, our homes are more sensitive than we think, and they respond not just to clutter or color, but to the shapes we allow to stay still in them. There's a reason why we gravitate toward curved edges, cozy throws, and soft lighting. These things don't just decorate, they dissolve tension. The snake plant, by contrast, holds it. It creates an energy that feels poised, alert, always on edge. That's great for hallways with strong lighting and fast movement. But in a bedroom where you're trying to let go, in a reading corner meant to cradle your thoughts, that's where it becomes too much. And here's where many people stumble. We assume everything green is good, that if a plant purifies air, it must also purify the atmosphere. But a plant isn't just a function, it's a presence. And presence matters. The snake plant has its gifts. It's bold, it's brave, but not every room needs a soldier. So pause. Think, where is your snake plant standing? Not just physically, but energetically. Is it softening your space or stiffening it? Is it welcoming light or absorbing it without return? Is it opening energy or holding a line like a wall? Because sometimes, the reason a space feels off isn't about color or clutter. It's about the shapes we've let stay too long. The ones that block air, light, or even emotion without us noticing. The snake plant might be one of them. And the good news, you don't need to get rid of it. You only need to ask, where would it be a better fit? Which part of my home needs a boundary rather than a bridge? Because not all plants are meant to soothe. Some are meant to stand. And once you understand what a plant brings into your space, not just in color, but in energy, you can choose where to let it stay. Or where to kindly ask it to move. Part 2: 3 wrong placements that quietly shift everything. There are objects we move without thinking. A picture frame gets tilted. A vase shifts slightly. But some placements carry weight quietly, persistently. Especially when that object stands tall, holds a form that cuts rather than curves, and never once asks to be moved. The snake plant is one of those. And where you put it matters more than you think. Some plants blend into a room. They soften a corner, catch the light just right. The snake plant does not blend. It holds. Its form stiff, pointed, vertical, acts like a line drawn in space. That's why when it stands in the wrong place, it begins to change the room without saying a word. And the effect isn't loud. It's subtle, almost too subtle to name until you begin to feel its weight. The front entrance is where energy flows in. Think about that space the moment you cross the threshold, the feeling you get. Is it open, inviting, or do you step into a line of defense without knowing it? When a snake plant is placed directly near the front door, it becomes a barrier not just to unwanted energy, but to everything. It doesn't filter, it blocks. Guests may feel an odd hesitation when they enter. You might find yourself walking into your home and feeling like something is standing guard, not welcoming you in but measuring your arrival. The entrance of a home should breathe. A snake plant, if not carefully positioned, can tighten that breath into a held inhale that never quite releases. Then there's the bedroom, a space meant for rest, dreams, intimacy, softness. It's where the body finally unwinds, where silence becomes comfort, not stiffness. The presence of a sharp, upright plant in this space shifts that tone. It doesn't just sit in the corner, it stands. Upright, watchful. Even when you don't look at it, it's there. That posture doesn't relax, it sharpens. And for some, it may show up in restless nights, overthinking before bed, or a strange sense of being watched without reason. Your nervous system might not identify a threat, but it won't fully settle either. The plant isn't causing harm, but it's refusing to soften, and in a space where everything should say let go, its presence quietly says stay alert. And finally, your workspace, a place that already carries tension, deadlines, structure. Add to that a plant that reinforces structure, and you double the edge. We like to believe greenery soothes, but not all green is gentle. When you place a snake plant near your desk, especially within arm's reach or in your line of sight, you invite a symbol of rigidity into a place that desperately needs flow. It may sharpen your focus, yes, but at what cost? You might find yourself more irritable, more perfectionistic. The mind doesn't roam, it tightens. You get things done, but you don't feel creative. The plant, again, isn't misbehaving. It's just doing what its shape does best, holding still. Drawing lines. Anchoring tension. These placements, the doorway, the bedroom, the desk, are not wrong because of superstition. They're wrong because they interrupt the emotional choreography of a space. They add sharpness where there should be curve. They impose stillness where there should be movement. And when you notice this, really notice it, you start to ask different questions. Not what plant should I buy, but what energy does this plant invite or block? And here's the part most people miss. The snake plant isn't a villain. It has its place. It thrives in thresholds that need boundary. In sun-drenched corners where strong energy is welcome. in places where you want to anchor strength, not softness. But most of us place it without thought. We put it where it fits, where it looks good. And then we wonder why the air feels heavier, why the room feels off, why we can't quite rest. The shift is subtle but profound. And once you've felt it, you can't unfeel it. The plant didn't change, but your awareness did. So pause. Walk through your home with new eyes. Look at where you've placed this sharp, standing presence. Ask what that space is asking for, and whether your snake plant is answering that need or ignoring it. And know this, moving a plant isn't a dramatic act. It's a gentle correction, a small movement that ripples into quiet balance. Because every room has a rhythm, and sometimes all it takes is one silent object in the wrong spot to throw that rhythm out of tune. Part 3, signs the air in your home is being squeezed. You don't need to see something to feel it pressing against you. Sometimes, it's not the furniture or the mess or the sound, it's the air itself. Heavy, still, as if the room forgot how to breathe. And if you've ever walked into your own home and felt an invisible tightness, like your shoulders lifted without reason, like the space was quietly closing in, then you've felt what I mean when I say the air in your home can be squeezed. This squeezing doesn't happen all at once. It builds, slowly, silently, and often, it begins with one misplaced element, one object that doesn't belong where it was set, but you left it there because it looked fine. The snake plant is a common culprit, not because it's wrong, but because it's rigid. It holds energy, doesn't move with it. And when placed in spaces that need softness or flow, it quietly disrupts the atmosphere. It starts with little things. You forget where you put your keys, even though you always leave them in the same bowl. You wake up feeling like you didn't sleep deeply, even though the night was quiet. Conversations at home start to feel a little more strained. There's no argument, just a lack of ease. The tension doesn't announce itself. It settles in like dust in corners, in breath, in the pauses between words. You open windows more often, hoping for freshness. You clean more frequently, sensing something's off. You buy candles, switch the lighting, rearrange the couch, but the feeling stays. That's because the issue isn't what's dirty or outdated. It's energetic. And once that energy gets stuck, the whole house starts to mirror it. People talk about bad vibes, but this isn't about superstition. It's about sensory memory. Your body feels what your eyes can't name. A space that used to feel clear now feels crowded, even if nothing's been added. And when you sit down, you don't relax, you just sit, still carrying something. In homes where the air is being squeezed, people sigh more. They speak softer. They retreat into their rooms without realizing why. You start spending more time out of the house, even though home used to be your favorite place. These are not coincidences. They are signals. Signals that the flow is blocked, that something, possibly a plant meant to protect, is standing in the way of ease. And you'll notice, if you look closely, that the plant itself often reflects this. Its leaves stop growing. Its base starts to brown, dry out. It doesn't die, but it doesn't thrive either. It's holding tension too. The snake plant is not malicious. But when it takes root in a space already tight on energy, it reinforces that tightness. It's like placing a bold exclamation point at the end of every sentence in a room meant for whispers. The result isn't chaos. It's compression. You start to feel like you're holding your breath, even when everything looks fine. And here's the part that catches most people off guard: you can get used to it. You can normalize the weight. You stop expecting your home to feel light. You stop waiting for that easy exhale when you walk in the door. You begin to think that maybe this is just adulthood, just life, but it's not. And it's not permanent. The air in your home wants to move. It wants to shift, flow, breathe. When something disrupts that, when the furniture is too stiff, the shape's too pointed, the energy too still, you feel it in your body before you feel it in your mind. Your breath shortens. Your sleep thins. Your patience frays. So what do? You start by noticing. Really noticing. How do you feel when you sit in that one chair? Is there a corner you always avoid? A hallway you rush through? A room that feels colder even when the thermostat is steady? Is there a plant that hasn't grown in months, that quietly droops or stiffens no matter how well you water it? These are not accidents. They're invitations to reevaluate. to adjust. And when you move the plant even just a few feet, something shifts. You might not hear it, but you'll feel it. A space that held its breath begins to release. Light finds the floor again. Sound travels differently. You move slower, speak softer, rest deeper. It doesn't take a renovation, just intention, because the signs of squeezed energy aren't loud. They're gentle, persistent. They show up in how you live, how you rest, how you forget small things, or feel inexplicably tense in places meant for comfort. And when you learn to see those signs not as flaws, but as feedback, your home becomes more than shelter. It becomes a mirror, a partner, a quiet force of balance. And isn't that what we all want? A space that doesn't just hold us, but breathes with us. Part 4. How to place your snake plant to restore flow, space, and fortune. You don't have to throw it away. That's the first thing I want to say. The snake plant isn't the enemy, it just needs a better role. A new direction. A shift in placement that respects its power without letting that power harden your space. Because the truth is, when placed with intention, the snake plant can become a guardian, not a gatekeeper. A quiet witness to strength, rather than a silent wall. Let's start with this: where should it go? Think about the spaces in your home that carry momentum, like hallways, landings, sunlit corners with movement and light. These are places where the upright energy of the snake plant won't interfere, but support. A hallway is transitional by nature. We don't stay there. We pass through. Placing the plant in a well-lit hallway lets its assertive form act as a signal of movement, not resistance. It reinforces direction, not stillness. The balcony, or by a large window, is another ideal location. This is where light is strongest and energy is most expansive. Here, the snake plant's shape absorbs sun without absorbing the softness of the room. It can become a vertical accent to horizontal flow, something that points up without pressing in. It no longer feels like a blade. It becomes a symbol of upward growth. Another powerful place is near your home office door, not inside the workspace, but just outside of it. That way, it serves as a buffer between the structured energy of productivity and the more relaxed tone of the rest of your home. It says this is where work begins, and this is where it ends. A threshold, not a barrier. But here's the deeper shift: it's not just where you place the plant, it's what you ask it to do. Before moving it, pause. Put your hand on the pot. Acknowledge that it has held space. Maybe too strongly, maybe for too long. Then ask it, silently or aloud, to soften, to work with your space, not against it. This isn't mystical, it's relational. You live with objects every day. Some of them listen. And when you do move it gently, intentionally, you may notice more than just a visual difference. You might feel a breath return to a room, a stillness release, a corner brighten. Don't rush to fill that space. Let it adjust. Let the air find its shape again. Balance is not about perfection. It's about response. Your home is not a fixed structure, it's a living organism. It responds to where you place attention, tension, and tenderness. When you respect the natural movement of energy through light, form, temperature, and sound, your space begins to cooperate with your life, not compete with it. And the snake plant, it becomes what it was always meant to be: a symbol of resilience, not resistance. A plant that stands, yes, but also supports. That offers protection, not pressure. If your home has felt tight, if you felt off but couldn't quite place why, try this: don't renovate. Don't redesign. Just move one thing with meaning. Let that one shift ripple through the rest. Let the air change. Let your space exhale. Because sometimes, restoring flow doesn't require more. It only requires release. Final, maybe you didn't expect a single plant to shift so much. Maybe it always sat quietly in its corner, and you never questioned it. But today, perhaps something softened. A room you thought was just off, now feels like it had something to say. And what we've done together through breath, attention, and just a little rearranging is begin to listen. Because your home isn't just walls and windows. It's an extension of your inner state. The spaces you move through reflect the thoughts you carry. The way air moves, the way light lands on your table, even the way a plant leans toward or away from you, these are not small details. They are whispers. And when you begin to respond, something changes. Not outside you, but inside. What we explored today wasn't about being afraid of the snake plant or assigning blame to energy. It was about returning to a deeper kind of awareness. One where you walk through your home and feel held, not tightened. Where your bedroom lets you release, not brace. Where your front door doesn't guard, it welcomes. That shift doesn't require money or a new design. Just intention, just care, just you, choosing softness over rigidity, space over tension. So thank you for staying, for feeling, for letting your home speak. You didn't just move a plant, you realigned a breath. And perhaps in doing so, you reminded yourself that peace doesn't always come from outside. Sometimes, it starts with one quiet decision, one small shift, one moment of listening. I hope the space around you feels a little lighter tonight. And if it doesn't yet, that's okay. You're already on your way. Take care. And let your home take care of you too.